Hello, everyone, and we've got stunning breaking news right now out of the Delphi case of the homicides of Libby German and Abigail Williams from February 13th, 2017. The man who has been arrested and charged with the crime, or the one person who has thus far, was in court this morning at 10 a.m. in front of Judge Fran Gall, and there were some bombshells that were dropped in court. According to Fox 59 in Indianapolis, prosecutor Nick McLeland said in court that Richard Allen has confessed, quote, 5 or 6 times that he killed Williams and German on that day in February 2017. Quote, he made multiple confessions to multiple people, McLeland said on Thursday. Richard Allen's defense attorney acknowledged, quote, incriminating statements made by Allen, but attributed the comments to his client's allegedly deteriorating mental state. He has made incriminating statements implicating himself in the crime, said Allen's defense attorney Bradley Rozzi. Defense attorneys and prosecutors made arguments in courts Thursday about statements previously made by Delphi murder suspect Richard Allen, including the reported, quote, confessions of the murders. A trial date was also set for early January 2024. So those of you asking me, when's the trial going to be? Well, as of right now, it's tentatively January 2024. And honestly, that seems like a reasonable date to me, a reasonable goal. So that's when it's scheduled to start. Allen, of course, faces 2 counts of murder from the 2017 deaths of those 2 poor young girls. The article goes on to say Allen, looking gaunt, appeared in court in a yellow jumpsuit, and during the hearing, defense attorneys indicated that Allen had made self-incriminating statements linking him to the girls' deaths. Prosecutor Nick McLeland agreed Allen had made admissions and multiple confessions to multiple people. So we don't know if those confessions came in the form of something he said to a family member, something he said to detectives, something he said to his own attorneys. We just don't know. Again, I would love to know what the family members and other people think about this latest development, but at the same time, as we all know, there is a gag order on anybody who has direct involvement in this case. And fortunately, YouTube media members, real media members like myself and others, are fortunately still allowed to discuss this. But just what mind-blowing news to hear that Allen has allegedly confessed to this crime. It doesn't say if he's implicated anybody else. So if he has, and there's somebody else still out there, I hope they're shaking in their boots, because it's coming down. I think the hammer's coming down. I think it's pretty difficult these days, as careful as people are in their investigation tactics, to beat a confession when you have as much circumstantial and potentially physical evidence as they have against Allen already. So I think Allen is in big trouble. I think he knows he's in big trouble. My only concern is this the defense team's way of trying to eventually get an insanity plea of some kind? They've had filings now for a while. They're putting pictures or information out there showing what Allen looks like, and he doesn't look anything like when he got arrested. Probably from the stress of being segregated from the general population in a cell all day long for 5 months now, 6 months, something like that. So anyhow, here's the thing. Allen's attorneys argued the statements couldn't be trusted because of their client's mental state. They, quote, want him moved out of Westville Correctional Facility to a county jail for his mental health and well-being. His defense team suggested Allen has made, quote, inconsistent statements since his arrest and attributed them to the stress of his captivity and his increasing difficulty in communicating with his attorneys. I also wonder, given other videos I've done and the fact that we know Allen had law enforcement come to his house one time for some problem drinking incidents, and we see pictures of him at the bar all the time, he may very well be going through a major alcohol withdrawal the last 5 or 6 months too. Again, that's speculation on my part, admittedly, but it's speculation based on things that we know to be true, and the fact that there have been at least one problem drinking incident to where he was hospitalized. There's documentation of this, just things of that nature. So boy, boy, a lot going on here this week. Anyhow, prosecutors have counter-argued that Alan's treatment has been completely humane. Alan's attorneys want him moved to Cass County Jail. A judge took this move under advisement. And pretty much just stuff that we already know in the rest of this article. And Alan's defense team had also previously filed a motion to suppress certain evidence from the case. Obviously, we're not going to be told what evidence that is. Usually when a defense team wants to suppress some sort of evidence, it's probably evidence that's pretty damning or doesn't look good for their client. Otherwise, they'd have no need to file a motion like that. So, again, as I've stated all along, I think there's much more evidence here against Richard Allen than we thought. I've continuously maintained this despite the fact a lot of people have repeatedly bashed police. But you know what? Even though it took 6 years, it's starting to look more and more like they got their guy, and that it's the right guy, for that matter. But again, it's not anything more than going on here than me, looking at what's most likely right now. What's the most likely scenario based on what we know? And again, we don't know all the evidence. Allen is still innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, but this is a huge blockbuster piece of information, now learning for the first time that he has confessed, quote, 5 or 6 times to this crime, allegedly, and to multiple people. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let me know what you think in the comments. And I'd also love to know if you still think, in light of this, that there were other people involved, as prosecutors allege. Again, let's give prosecutors some credit here. They've got a confession from somebody, despite all the naysayers, all the people saying they didn't know what they're doing. Sometimes justice takes a while. And let's hope in this case that justice, and the right justice, is truly coming. Hope everybody has a great Father's Day weekend.